friends, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back. Thanks for stopping in. I hope wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, you're thriving, you're striving, you're loving yourself, and you are loving the people you're with, because that is what it is all about. Guys, today we are talking about a movie from 1936. Yeah, that's right. It's 90 years old. It's directed by Mr. Charlie Chaplin. This is Modern Times. Now, before we get into all the goodness of Modern Times, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Man, guys, I'm not a huge black and white movie fan. Like I say that. I watch a lot of like 1940s and 50s black and white movies. But you know, the silent era's not really my cup of tea. I'm not a huge silent movie fan. I've watched all the big ones, you know, the ones that are influential, as they say, like Metropolis and things like that. And recently, a couple years ago, I got a top 100 must-see films, like cultivated by reviewers and stuff like that on IMDb. I got a scratch-off poster for Christmas, and Modern Times is one of the last ones I have to scratch off of that poster. Because I've watched almost all 100 of them. I think there's only maybe 5 or 6 left on the poster. So Modern Times was one of the ones I had left to scratch off. And guys, let me just be frank right now. This was one of the best silent films I've ever seen. Now, it's not completely silent, but our main protagonists don't speak. It's still that very much like I don't want to say vaudeville, but you know, like the old Western piano, and then they'll like throw a cue card up on the screen and have their dialogue, and then go back and it'll show them like talking, but nothing is actually coming out. You know, that kind of filmmaking. And this told one of the best stories of a silent film ever, in my opinion. At least of all the silent films that I've watched, this told the best story I've ever seen, because we follow Charlie Chaplin, his character, the tramp, and we follow him and this girl, and it tells an undying love story and a story of triumph and overcoming, but there's never really a word spoken. We start off with him in this like factory. He's doing his factory thing. Then he winds up getting out of losing his factory job, going to prison. Then when he gets out of prison, he meets a girl. He meets the girl. The girl has these sisters. Her father dies. They wind up going into the orphanage, and she runs away. She runs into Charlie Chaplin, and they wind up becoming like a Bonnie and Clyde type thing. I mean, they're not like robbing and killing people, but you know, they're ride or dies kind of thing. They are together through thick and thin, and I thought that was a really kind of progressive and cool story for the 1930s. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. That makes me sound like the people in the 1930s were unintelligent, didn't know how to make good stories or tell good stories. But that's, you know, just as a motion picture, I thought this was probably one of the more like forward-thinking ones of the time, where we have guys, you know, with top hats twiddling their mustaches with a lady on the train tracks tied down. This gave us like a real meat and potatoes kind of story. It told a story of love. It told a story of triumph. And it was funny. There were many times where I caught myself like laughing out loud at the preposterosity and the absurdity of some of the things that Charlie Chaplin was doing. And then not only that, but we have to talk about the special effects feats that were done then. There's a scene where Charlie Chaplin is skating around, and there's like this drop-off where like he would fall, you know, a few stories if he fell. And he's skating around this, and he keeps skating right on the precipice, right on the edge before he's about to fall and bust his rump. And the next thing you know, she pulls him away from it. Well, come to find out, there was never a hole there. It was like a painting on glass that gave it depth. Like the whole backstory to the special effects of just that scene was incredibly fascinating. I wish I could go into more detail on it here, but it was, at the time, it was like a marvel of technology that he could do that and not really have to worry about falling off of that, because of the way that it was shot and the techniques used gave it depth beyond our perception kind of thing in the theater, and it made it look like he would really hurt himself if he was to fall. So I really dug that. I thought this film is full of just innovation. It's full of great storytelling. It's full of phenomenal body acting by Charlie Chaplin and his muse, Miss Paulette Goddard. They wound up actually being an item for a while after this, but then she found that she really couldn't get work because she was associated with Chaplin, and so they had a tumultuous relationship, yada yada, as most Hollywood celebrities do. And so their relationship behind the scenes on this film was actually a very interesting story in and of itself too. So Modern Times as a whole is a fantastic film. It has a great legacy and lore behind it if you care to dive into it. And as a silent film, it really was kind of a stepping stone for modern film and modern storytelling. From the special effects all the way to the acting and the writing and even Charlie Chaplin's directing. You know, he did really well in the director's seat with this. There's everything flowed nicely. The scenes made sense. It was a well-made film, and I can understand why it is held in such high regard by many. There's a lot of people that they watch Charlie Chaplin's work just to appreciate it. But this is one that I genuinely really enjoy and really like. Like, I would go back and watch Modern Times again with someone else, or even by myself on like a slow Sunday where I just need some tinkly piano keys to take a nap. But Modern Times is great. I watched it on HBOMax, and I highly recommend, if you guys are movie lovers, if you like film in general, this is one of those that you need to see just to get, if not an appreciation, a respect for what came before. So that's it, guys, for Modern Times. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking to me about it, talking with me about it, letting me talk to you about it. If you've seen Modern Times, if you liked it, let's start a conversation in the comment section, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button for me on the way out. And as always, my friends, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.